to Let's Calculate Something. Today we're going to do a little bit of algebra. We're going to find the distance between 2 points on a plane. So if we have 2 points, point 1, which is defined by x1, y1, and point 2, which is defined by x2, y2, then the distance between those points is the difference between the x's squared and the difference between the y's squared. Take the square root of that. And that should look a little bit familiar to you, because if you think about it, what we're really doing is we're taking the hypotenuse of a right triangle between those points. And that's how the distance formula was derived. I'm not going to go through that right now, but you can see really we have the distance, the x value of the distance between those two, the y value of the distance between those two, and the square root of it. And the root of that comes from the Pythagorean theorem, which we'll maybe do in another video sometime. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put up a couple of line segments, and we're going to go and figure out what the distance of those are. So I'll be right back. So if we have a problem like this one, where we have 2 points, point 1 and point 2, and work on problem A first. And one point is at 6, 5, so it's up here somewhere, say. And then the other point is at 2, 1, which is over here. Over here. What's the distance of that point? And the way to solve this problem is, when you're first doing distance problems, you get mixed up between the x1 and the y1 and the point 1 and 2. It's nice to make a little bit of a table. So what I like to do when I first learned this was I like to put the point here, the x and the y value, and I have 2 points, point 1 and 2. And point 1 is defined by 6, 5. So my x value will be, it'll be 6 and 5, because that was point 1. And then the second point was 2, 1. I'm just using these colors so you can follow a little bit easier. It would be defined like that. And so what I want to do now is plug these into the distance formula to find that distance. So once you have the table, then you just plug into the formula. So we will have d equals the square root of x2 minus x1, which is 2 minus 6 squared, plus y2 minus y1, which is 1 minus 5 squared. Okay? And that is going to equal the square root of minus 4 squared plus minus 4 squared. And that equals the square root of 16 plus 16, which equals the square root of 32, which equals the square root of 2 times the square root of 16, which equals 4 square root of 2. So that's the first answer. This distance is 4 root 2. Now, I want to note something here, that it doesn't matter what order you put these in. You could pick whichever one you want to pick is point 1 and point 2. Doesn't matter, because we're going to square the difference. So if you get a different sign, if we would have flipped these around and had 6 minus 4, we would have had 4 squared 16. The squaring of it is going to cancel out the order problem. So it doesn't matter what you pick as long as you stay consistent through the problem. Okay? So now, let's solve the second one. But before we do that, if you're learning something from the video, we'd appreciate a like. We'd like you to give us some feedback in the comments. And then if you can subscribe and click the notification bell, as we put out more videos, you'll know about them right away. Okay? So let's go into the second problem. All right, so we're back to the table. So let's plug it into the distance formula. So what we have is the square root of x2 minus x1, which is 4 minus a minus 1 squared. And then we have minus 4 minus 1 squared. And so that turns out to be 4 minus a minus 1 is a 5, and that's squared. Plus a minus 4 minus 1 is a minus 5, and that is squared. Okay? And so we get the square root of 25 plus 25, which equals the square root of 25 times the square root of 2. And that is 5 square root of 2. So the answer to this problem is 5 times the square root of 2. There's a little bit of a coincidence that both of these are the same number on this one and both of them were the same number on the other one. I think we had 16. That's just a coincidence of the problems we chose today. Oftentimes that wouldn't be the case. They're not always going to be that way. So that's the answer. Those are the two problems we worked out. Distance between 2 points. Doesn't matter what order you take the points. Use this formula and you can calculate it pretty easily. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the channel. We'll see you next time.